Get crafting with me while I harness the power of the sun. Not literally, but I do need a UV light box to cure resins and paints for some of my upcoming designs. To put it quite frankly, I am too old and crabby to waste time using the wrong tools these days, and homemade is still a far cry better than the tediousness of using a UV flashlight with my paper-thin attention span. So I designed and printed the panels for a very rudimentary light box, and then painted the inside with metallic silver and the outside with a glossy black spray paint. I could have stopped there and just assembled the damn thing, but I knew this box was going to be a more so permanent fixture in my arsenal of workspace clutter, so it needs to be prettier than just a glossy black cube. Thus, the paint pens made their debut. Today, I'm painting what will be the top panel of the light box. Since this was the first panel I worked on, some kind of sun design made the most sense to me. A more gold-clad and regal-esque design was my first choice, but I've always kind of admired and been a little bit haunted by this retro sun design. I feel like this was everywhere when I was growing up, and the expressions were always kind of creepy. Just me? So we're slapping that bad boy on top of this UV box. This is my first real application for these acrylic paint markers, and boy, there's a lot of learning going on behind the scenes in this video. In general, paint is my least favorite medium. Not because I think it's inherently bad or anything, but because I struggle so hard with it. My hands naturally shake like a leaf on a tree, and it's hard to fix any mistakes, if at all possible. So trying to put what's in my head on paper, or plastic in this case, is like playing the worst game of telephone. Seriously, count how many times I end up using my fingers to wipe away bad strokes in this video, pretending like it's my Control-Z to undo IRL. It took me a while to learn I was just better off covering up the bad strokes with another coat of paint after it dried. Not to mention how many color changes I ended up doing on this panel. I think it ends up being 3-4 different shades of pink on the squiggly rays alone. Needless to say, my artistic methods don't mesh very well with paint. Oftentimes I start a project with a rough idea in mind, but then I refine that idea and work out the kinks along the way when making the concept a reality. Plenty of mediums give you the opportunity to go through that sort of live drafting process while you're working on a project. Think sketching with pencils, modeling clay, and nearly 100% of digital art. I've personally found paint in any form to be the least forgiving in this regard, which is a huge reason why I've shied away from it for most of my life. But avoiding the things that you're bad at or scared of will never help you improve. While I may not make these paint pens a staple medium in any of my analog endeavors, I still think it's nice to have some fundamental working knowledge of how to use them should the need ever arise for a project where they become genuinely necessary, as opposed to this fleeting need for a nifty little box that's only going to be witnessed by a handful of eyeballs. Not to mention how this made me appreciate artists who actually can functionally use acrylic paint in their day-to-day just that much more. There's a lot that I did film here, and a lot I mistakenly didn't while working out the kinks with what I want my video editing process to look like, but in the end, I wanted to give this bugger a creepy face to make it more akin to the actual sun, which I'm pretty sure hates me. Don't let the contrast in this video fool you. My ghost of Wonder Bread complexion is highly prone to transforming into a painful shade of tomato red after too much sun exposure, as opposed to actually tanning. Combined with my extreme intolerance of warm weather, I think it's safe to say Ra himself may have it out for me. While my techniques, if you can even call them that, certainly improve from panel to panel as I get more comfortable with using these paint markers, I know the end results are not perfect, and that's completely okay for what this piece will ultimately end up being. Hopefully this inspires you to try working with a new medium you're not familiar with, or, like me, are damn near scared of, and to give yourself a little grace while you're first starting out. And of course, this advice applies to just about everything in life, not just the arts. But if your trial of choice happens to be acrylic paint pens in particular, Godspeed to you. After a quick clear coat to seal it all together, here's the final result. Is she perfect? Most certainly the not, but was she worth it to become a bit more comfortable with a medium I'm not familiar with? Absolutely. Follow along to see the door panel next, along with the full final build of my scrappy little light box.